Welcome to the Iron Breed Podcast. My name is Austin, and here again with me today is Gerard.
What's going on, everyone?
So we're coming at you with a Mindset Monday, except today it's going to be a little bit different. Today's topic is speaking up for what you believe in.
Exactly. Saying what you believe needs to be said, even when it makes you uncomfortable. It might not be a popular opinion, or it may make the individuals around you uncomfortable to hear. But at the end of the day, it's your responsibility to speak up for what you believe in and to recognize what is going on right now and that your voice, what you can do, what you can bring awareness about has an impact. And so what we are talking about and speaking about is this past weekend's riots and all of the incidents that have occurred and just the hesitancy to talk about it, to have an open discussion about them. And as me and Austin sat here thinking about checking out for the night, and we said, no, we need to record something. We need to say our piece. We need to say, stand up and actually say what we believe in. And so this is a hard one, man. It's not easy to talk about.
It's not, because it's not about us. It's not about us. It's about being able to acknowledge that some seriously awful stuff has been going on, not just now, but it always has. Always has. And it gets to the point where it's like, okay, when is enough enough? How many times does this need to keep happening?
It's so true. And whether it's George Floyd or so many other individuals, like me and Austin were just saying, it's gotten to the point now where people don't even remember the names of all these individuals who have lost their lives due to a level of injustice that needs to be spoken about. It needs to, and it doesn't fall along the lines of what political side you identify with, what racial side you identify, anything. Just human being is a human being, man. And when you see someone put in that position, and this was that could have been avoided from the beginning, like it's absolutely unacceptable because that's a human being, man. Like,
Comes down to basic human rights. You know, that's what makes it really hard. It's hard to accept that. I mean, I don't know if there's any way that you can really watch that video and think up a situation where that's okay.
that's what this is speaking up and saying, no, there is not. There is not a situation.
As many different ways I could. Well, maybe what if no, I can't see it. There's not. And that's what's hard. And so obviously something needs to change, right? Something needs to change because this has just been going on way too long. So really, where does that change even start? I think it starts with one, listening, right? You got to start this conversation by actually being able to listen to what's going on and how everyone feels about this, but also not just sweeping it under the rug and pretending like it doesn't matter, but like actually saying something and be like, hey, no, we're not going to keep accepting this bullshit over and over and over again. Kind of like school shootings, right? It happens. Everybody talks about it for a week, 2 weeks. It's so tragic and sad. Everyone wants to take your guns away for a hot minute, and then everybody forgets about it. And same deal. Something like this happens, everyone wants to blame XYZ person, and then nobody remembers in 2 weeks. And it just keeps happening over and over again, and it just keeps getting worse.
And it's baffling, man. It's just, it's so hard to believe that it's just allowed and it just happens. And it's not just one place, one area. It's everywhere that this is going on. And so, what you can do just as an individual is one, listen. Listen to individuals who have, you know, felt like they've gone through persecution, who have felt like they have actually been through something. Actually open your ears up and start, gaining some information before you just make a biased opinion. And that goes for us too, because there's a lot of things we could say right now and get real upset and go on our tangents. Me and Austin both, feel the ways we do about this. But listen, understand for the people who actually are affected by this, and then have those hard conversations. Go
Yeah.
out and when you hear it, because it is when you hear oh, it's just my close friend, they're just joking around. No, when you hear someone making light of this situation, you speak openly about it because that is the right thing to do. You don't just let this go by. You gotta bring a level of awareness. And so that's what we're doing. We debated it. We thought, is this something we should do? We might offend some people. Maybe some people don't necessarily agree with what we have to say. You know what? This is our podcast. This is our responsibility to voice how we feel about this challenging situation. And so as you roll to work on Monday, maybe there's some conversations when people are getting coffee and you're thinking about just going to your desk or your cubicle and not engaging. Take the time, listen, speak, actually put conscious effort into something that is a very troubling situation in our country and has been going on for far too long.
And I'll be the first one to preface this. And I know Gerard probably feels the same as I do, but we're both two white males. We have no idea what it's like to experience any level of injustice or even just level of judgment or anything. We have no idea, and we never will know. I think the worst we get is just being looked at weird sometimes because we have tattoos, but that's nothing. I mean, that in the grand scheme,
Nothing.
that's literally nothing. That's literally nothing. Like Gerard and I will never know what it's like to dread being pulled over by the cops and wonder, will we make it out of that situation alive or not? And now, look, don't get me wrong. I'm not gonna talk shit on cops because I know many wonderful people that are cops. And one of the things that's really hard to accept for this is obviously the actions of one evil, messed up individual. And consistently, I mean, you see this over time, the actions of these awful individuals that just so happen to have that position are literally endangering the lives of other cops that have families, other awesome people that have families, friends, and everything that are now put at risk because one dickhead's actions. So that's tough. I'm not going to sit here and condemn cops because cops do a good job and they're good people. Obviously, like with everything, though, there's always that one person that ruins it for everybody.
And that's hard too, man, because when we see that and we see how consistently this happens, we want to blame all of them. And there are good ones out there, but do we recognize repetition, man? This is a repeating problem that is ingrained in procedures and flawed procedures where lethal force, the last thing that's supposed to be used, is now the first. And not and so you can have your opinions, you can have your bias, and that's fine. But please do not negate the fact that this is an extreme issue. This is an issue that is ongoing and has been ongoing. So it needs to get away from just the all cops are bad, or that's how it's, and that it's a eh, we need to change something in the procedure. There needs to be more education on all of this. There needs to be more education on how people can talk about these challenging topics and speak openly about them and gain more knowledge. And so what also says true is, as much as we feel just upset and pain and anger for these individuals, we'll never know that, man. We'll never know that because by whatever means of how this country got set up, we lucked out on just some screwed up genetic, you know, thing. And it doesn't make any sense because it's like we said, it's a human right. It's a people, right? Like it's a person. It's enough, man. It's a person. That could be anyone. And the fact that it keeps consistently happening towards these individuals, towards, you know, black people is it makes it such a challenging topic because then so many people I don't want to talk about it and it's not workplace appropriate. When the hell is it appropriate? It's certainly not appropriate out there.
When you keep shoving off these hard issues, it just makes things worse. And the only way things are ever going to change is we're going to have to go through some really weird, uncomfortable times. That's what it's going to take. Now, granted, outside of starting the dialogue, listening, and having that conversation on speaking up for what's right, I don't really know what the next step is from there. I don't know. And maybe you do, Gerard, but if anybody else knows, please, let me know. Let me know. Like what do we do next? Because I don't know. But I want to. I know that listening and standing up for what's right is the start, and that's where it's all going to start. Not just with me, not just with Gerard, not just with you, with your neighbor, with your parents, with your friends, your coworkers, your colleagues. That's the same people. But with everyone, it starts with all of us.
It's so true, and so don't be afraid. Don't be afraid to say what you feel because you're worried about someone's judgment or your opinions and views not aligning on a matter. If anything, you learn more about that individual, and even if you don't agree in that moment in time, you might find a place of common ground. you know it's better to left it said and out on the table and know where you stand
I never said it
than
all.
yeah than to just hide. And so that goes into so many aspects, so many different things, and not just this situation, but believe and stand up for what you believe in, especially when it comes to just great injustice and issues against this the rights that a human should have. This is a tough one. This is a gut hitter. This Mindset Monday. This is, this is when it is not always easy. And we still want you to be amped. We still want you to get your workouts in and kill it this week. But we want you to be mindful and to not think about this.
Agreed. We love all y'all. We thank everybody for listening and for your support. Have a good week. Let's kill it. Let's make it a good one. Let's also be mindful about what we're doing, where we're going, and the future of this country. It all starts with us. Thanks for listening to Iron Breed Podcast.